Richard Barrett, whom I understand is sharing time with Deputy Barry.
Yes, 4 minutes each. Is that clock on? All right. Yeah, as far as we're concerned, TDs are paid too much. We believe that the pay of public representatives should be linked to that of those that they represent. That way, public representatives would have an incentive to improve the lot of the majority. We think it's not the only part, but part of the disconnect between politics and the majority of people is that the material circumstances of public representatives, TDs and ministers are on a different planet than the majority of those they represent. Against that background, that general background, for us it is simply a no-brainer that it is unacceptable for TDs to receive a €5,000 increase when somebody on the minimum wage is only getting an extra 10 cents an hour, when we have 23% of workers in this country officially low paid, and that has dramatically increased in recent years, when those on social welfare and pensioners only got a miserable €5 extra a week, and if you're a young job seeker, you got even less, half of that, an utterly miserable increase, and of course when secondary schools across the country are closed, and may be closed for quite a long period if this government doesn't relent, because they refuse to pay what would amount to €6 a week extra per teacher that was promised to those teachers under the Haddington Road Agreement. You reneged, not the teachers, as the Taoiseach suggested earlier on today. The government reneged on a promise. The teachers stuck to the agreement and wanted to be paid €6 a week per teacher, about €300 a year. We can't pay that, and we're willing to allow the schools of the country close and lock teachers and students out, but somehow it's okay for TDs to get an extra £5,000, up to the extremely well-paid salary of €92,000. That is unacceptable. And if the government and if the political establishment of Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael and Labour for that matter do not understand how unjust that is, and I heard somebody say, but TDs work hard. Yes, many TDs work hard, but so do people in Tesco's. So do nurses. I suspect many of them working a lot harder than TDs. So do teachers. So do firemen. So do the ushers, who will leave here an hour or two after we leave, and who also don't have equal pay for equal work, by the way. It's not just the teachers and the nurses who don't get equal pay. A teacher who comes in after 2012 gets €6,000 less, approximately, for doing the same job than someone who happened to be employed before that. €6,000. And we're going to give ourselves a €5,000 increase, but we can't give it to the low-paid nurses and teachers or the ushers here, who will leave an hour or two after we've all gone, whose family lives are often wrecked by the shifting and changing hours here. But it's okay to do that to the ushers, the teachers, the nurses and other public servants. I don't think that's acceptable. It's important to give them a shout-out, because they're the people who make this place function, as public servants, like teachers and nurses, make this state function and work just as hard as anybody else. So to us, it's a very simple matter. If you force this through, we will publish where we're giving the extra money to. If it was next week, we'd be giving it to the ASTI strike fund. If it's next year and the nurses are on strike, we'll be giving it to them. But other causes that are good causes, we will publish where the money goes.